Rosellas. They are without a doubt some of the most vibrant and absolutely stunning parrots you can find. But as anyone who's ever tried to breed them will tell you, they come with a very unique set of challenges. Okay, let's dive right in and unpack what it really takes to succeed. So you're looking at these incredible birds, and the thought hits you. I want to do that. And you know what? That's an amazing goal. Today, we're going to walk through all the essential knowledge you're going to need so we can help turn that ambition into a real, successful reality. But first, let's get the big warning out of the way. Rosellas are famous or maybe infamous for their feisty temperament in captivity. Now, this isn't a deal breaker, not at all, but it is the central challenge. Understanding this aggression is the key to pretty much everything else, and that's why getting this right is so important. First up, let's get properly acquainted with the Rosella family. It's a pretty diverse group, so knowing who we're dealing with is definitely step one. These guys are native to Australia and its nearby islands, and wow, what a beautifully diverse family. You've got 6 main species here, everything from the western to the northern, and each one has its own unique charm. Now, our focus today is on general breeding principles, but it's just great to appreciate the variety we're talking about. Now, let's move on to what might be the single most important factor of all, their home. The foundation for successful breeding isn't just about the birds themselves, it's the environment you create for them. If you get this part wrong, you're really just setting yourself up for failure before you've even begun. So what's the magic number? 3 meters. Yep, that's the minimum recommended length for an aviary. It gives these super active birds the space they absolutely need to fly properly, get their exercise, and stay healthy. Think of it as your non-negotiable starting point. When it comes to the design of the aviary, you basically have 2 main options. There's the suspended aviary, which keeps the birds up off the ground. This is great for minimizing health risks. On the other hand, you have the walk-in aviary, which lets them peck around on the ground, a natural behavior they just love. But, and it's a big but, allowing that comes with a pretty significant catch. And that catch is parasites. As soon as Rosellas spend time on the ground, they become vulnerable to all sorts of parasitic infections. It's a really serious risk for anyone using a walk-in aviary, but thankfully there is a very straightforward plan to manage it. And the solution is a simple 3 times a year deworming schedule. This is the expert recommendation, and you should really think of it as an insurance policy. You do it once before breeding, once after, and then one more time right in the middle of the off-season. It's an easy routine to get into, and it protects your whole investment. Okay, so their home is built. Let's talk about how to fuel these amazing birds. You might be surprised to learn the Rosella diet is actually pretty simple, but it's the specifics where so many breeders go wrong. The foundation, the absolute cornerstone of their diet, should be a good quality, commercially available, micronized grain mix. Now, this isn't just any old birdseed. This stuff is scientifically formulated. It's a complete base packed with all the essential proteins, vitamins, and minerals that they need to thrive. And because that foundation is so complete, you have to hear this warning from expert Louis Bothma. He says that if you start adding extra supplements, all you're going to do is make the food dangerously high in certain minerals and vitamins. The companies that make these mixes have already done the hard work for you. You just have to trust them. So what does a perfect day of feeding look like? Well, in the morning, you'll serve up that micronized mix. You can add some grated greens like carrot or beetroot. A little later, give them a small amount of fine seed. And then in the afternoon, some sprouted sunflower. That's it. It's a simple, reliable rhythm. So let's just boil it down to the basics. The micronized mix, grated greens, and sprouted sunflower, they're in. Extra supplements, definitely out. And here's one that might surprise you. Fruit is on the avoid list. I know, it seems healthy, but for these birds, it's mostly just water and sugar, which can cause fermentation and attract bees. Honestly, it's just not worth the risk. All right, your birds are housed and they're well fed. Now for the make or break moment, nesting. The secret here is to stop thinking like a human and start thinking like a Rosella that's looking for a hollow tree trunk out in the wild. This is where so many breeders stumble, and it's often because of 2 simple mistakes. First, their nest isn't deep enough. It has to be at least 50 centimeters. Second, it's too wide. A big, spacious nest might seem nice to us, but for the female, it just makes her feel exposed and insecure, and that can lead to total disaster. And you know what's funny? This is not new information. Here's a cool little historical fact from Rosemary Lowe. Way back in 1970, a study found that the most successful pairs used nest boxes that were almost exactly the dimensions we recommend today. The evidence has been right there for decades.
But let's be realistic. Even when you do everything right, challenges can still pop up. Breeding season is intense, so it's time we tackle one of the most common and honestly most heartbreaking problems head on.
This is the question that keeps breeders up at night. You've waited all year, the hen lays her eggs, and you go to check, and you find them broken. It is absolutely devastating. But don't panic, there is a clear troubleshooting process for this. The key here is to be systematic. Step 1, adjust the nest. Try giving her an even deeper one, or maybe a narrower one, say 18 by 18 centimeters. Anything to help her feel more secure. If that doesn't work, well then it's time for step 2. And step 2 is to bring in foster parents. This means using another pair of birds to hatch the eggs and raise the chicks. Red-rump parakeets are considered pretty much ideal for this, but here's the pro tip. You should always test them with their own clutch first. You have to make sure they're good parents before you trust them with your valuable Rosella eggs. So when you pull it all together, the right aviary, the right diet, the right nest, and a good troubleshooting plan, you start to see a clear theme, right? Success isn't about luck. It's about deeply understanding the wild nature of these birds and then meticulously meeting their needs in captivity. It's a journey, for sure. It demands patience, sharp observation, and a real willingness to learn from your birds. The challenges are real, no doubt about it, but the reward of seeing those vibrant, healthy chicks finally fledge, well, there's just nothing else like it. The only question left is, are you ready for it?